Let's now bring in CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham on this story as Canada and China sign a new trade agreement. Reactions, of course, coming here in Canada. But Eric, let's ask you about the reaction so far, if any, we've heard with this deal in Washington.
Well, look, the president's own Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and even one of his economic advisors, his closest economic advisors, Peter Navarro, they both recognize that Canada becoming more close to China is certainly going to have an impact on U.S.-Canada relations. However, President Donald Trump doesn't seem to either understand that or simply doesn't get it. And I think we have heard that over and over. In fact, just recently at a plant in Dearborn, Michigan, the president said that the United States doesn't need anything from Canada, and he said that CUSMA was irrelevant. And I think and as a result of that, we're seeing the prime minister engage in a number of trade deals and negotiations. Today, it's China. Tomorrow, it will be Qatar. And so clearly what we're seeing now is the Canada is doing all it can under Mark Carney to lessen its dependence on the United States, particularly at a time when those CUSMA negotiations will begin in earnest in the spring. And it's looking more and more likely like President Donald Trump will walk away from that. I think what we're seeing here is Prime Minister Carney is hoping to actually have something in place so that if and when that deal comes to an end, Canada isn't left holding the bag.
How is this helping Donald Trump? Because the sense is it is because of Donald Trump, his policies, his hostile policies to his allies. He's pushing his allies towards China. Today it is Canada. Tomorrow it's going to be the UK.
That's right. And I think what we're seeing here is China is actually recognizing that this is becoming a boon to them. Countries that at one time had frozen them out. In fact, we know that there were massive tariffs on the Chinese EV market. Now that's a market that is open to China. I'm sure Doug Ford has something to say about that. And of course, that will certainly, I think, lead to some tensions between the prime minister and the premier. But nevertheless, what we're seeing here is as the president is walking away from tremendous opportunities and from alliances that have benefited the United States for decades, it is certainly working to China's advantage.
Okay, we'll leave it at that this morning. Eric Ham, CTV News U.S. political analyst. Eric, thank you for this.
Thank you.